which does showcase the wind levels quite nicely. There's a crosswind over that start-finish straight as qualifying heat C versus E will make it interesting. And of course, for Christian Costoya, what is the one thing that he has seen? The dry line is on the outside of going in towards turn number 1. It cuts through. Everyone else on the inside will be on a wet line going into T1. He did not want to be there, which is why he has switched sides of the grid. So let's go over that grid. It is Christian Costoya and Jacopo Martinezzi on the front row of the grid. Joe Turney and Zach Drummond on row 2. Peter Stiller and Tom Pradier go from row number 3. Row 4 will see Jacob Mikolev and Dean Pedersen. Good results for both of those drivers yesterday, but can they better them today? Jakub Kamenek as well. Also good results. Will be starting alongside Klarika Wolczyk on row number 5. Stylianos Kolovos and Marcus Shilkunas on row number 6. They'll have Austin Gale and Oliver Kinmark on the first half of the field.
Part 2 of your field. On row number 8, we have Edgar Clementson alongside Zhang Hojie. From 9 is Vanessa Schilkenator with Boris Leisen. And from row number 10, we have Sebastian Mins with Meryl Perez. 11 includes Roland Coquelin with Senna Munar. And from 12, we have Matis Zumer with Sarah Matsoy. Row number 13, we have Poland's Franciszek Kugelski alongside Fausto Nardo of Argentina. And then from row number 14, the final row of the grid, we have Leo Nilsson alongside Nawin Natipaton.
Well, packed grid of drivers in this one, and of course drivers to note in this. We've only had one race winner in this grid so far in the form of Zach Drummond, who starts this on the second row of the grid. Drivers who are yet to take a qualifying heat win: Joe Turney, Jacopo Martinezzi, Christian Costoya, Peter Stiller, Tom Pradier, Jacob Mikolev and Dean Pedersen. Everyone else basically has not taken a qualifying heat win here right now, so there could be a first or there could be a second for Drummond ahead of this one. Crucially, I'm going to keep an eye on that rain radar. You can still see there are spots around, but we've got the clean air for the time being. However, the weather that is currently going over Germany right now could be heading across the coast and could hit us later on in the day. Like I say, the weather is on and off this weekend, and it's heavy pockets of rain as well that are around in the area. You can see those red bits on the rain radar there, showcasing that it's not just rain, it's a very heavy rain. Right then, here we go. Well, it's a very shaky front grid. Oh, we're definitely going around on this one. Yeah, that's not a good start at all. And I can imagine, yeah, we're going to see a reaction like that from Pasquale Lupoli saying, what is this? But again, I can understand the reason why they've done that. Might be a bit of mutiny from the drivers on the officials on this one to force a go around again to get one thing done: temperature in tyres. Yeah,
I would agree with you then, Anthony. It could be intentional from our drivers, and this is a replay. Yeah, look at that. There was not even an attempt to try and get that going, I would say, by the drivers, just trying to get a bit more temperature into that Maxis. Try and get the best out of it so that the drivers can head into turn 1, 2 and 3, that flat part of the lap, with as much pace as they can, especially on the front end of the field, because Costoya is going to want to try and pull away within this one. A disqualification and a P3 really needs a good one, and he's up against big hitters around him. Jacopo Martinezzi, who's had 2 P2s, so has Joe Turney, and Drummond has had a heat win as well. So we've got some big names at the front end of this field. Don't count out Thomas Pradier as well, who's had some good results. Had a bit of drama in one of the races yesterday, but has been inside the top 3, so I'm sure he can achieve a similar thing.
Certainly so. Right, here we go. This looks a lot better. Into the trap lines. Are we racing? Lights go out. We are racing down towards turn number 1. It's a good start for the outside row, but Martinezzi says absolutely yes to the inside line. Goes through sideways, goes Peter Stiller, but he gets through and holds onto it. Drummond goes into the back.
Costoya.
And that is Christian Costoya off the road. He rejoins, but there's more drama further on. One of the Koskis going off the track as well in the early stages. That might be Oliver Kinmark, who's had the early dramas as well. But crucially, that is a very dramatic start during this race.
I think we've lost one of the Birrells as well. That could have been now in Natipaton at the back of the field, parked on the grass. At the front end, it has been a busy one so far. And like you said, Anthony, your championship leader, the driver that's already had his disqualification, Costoya, fallen right to the midfield section. I think lucky that the other drivers around him got busy within that first sector, managed to rejoin the road not too far back. But it is Martinez that absolutely got the jump on the front as Zach Drummond now goes down the inside at turn number 2, moves into P5 ahead of Peter Stiller. And where is Christian Costoya then? 16 position lost. Costoya now sits in 17th. As we've got a change between Turney and Martinez, Joe Turney makes himself your new race leader.
Indeed, and this is going to be a vital one for him. He's not in the championship fight, unfortunately, in the 2025 FIA karting season, but he is certainly going to want to be a driver to shake things up a little bit at the end of this season and come away, hopefully, with a podium. But Joe Turney now, who takes the lead of this race, takes the lead of the intermediate classifications down the inside. Thomas Brunier sends it on Jacopo Martinez, demotes him down to 3rd. Martinez, though, will try to retaliate, but maybe not on this one. Oh, look at the speed difference through T1. That's what we're talking about here. The OTK versus the Kart Republic package this weekend. That OTK looked considerably faster through turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely does. And what Turney is demonstrating right now is helping him in that intermediate classification. Has overtaken Ivanikov for the current lead on the points. And of course, we've got more heats to go for these drivers. There's a lot more work for them to all put in. Drivers that are putting in work currently are one of those from Fusion. Zach Drummond trying to have a look. We've also now had an overtake now for that P3. Kamenek has got it done on Martinez, then changes for position. Good stuff, actually, I would say, from Kamenek within this heat so far. We haven't seen him maybe this far up in the order this year. Switch a replay of the race start then. Costoya found himself getting pinched out at this point. So he drops back to around about 4th, tries to hang it around the outside. Drummond moves. I don't know if they clash, but it is with the Scottish driver that he just gets pushed out to that grass and lucky to keep it going.
Drummond goes onto the back of Joe Turney's car. That unsettles him. It puts him wide. Unfortunately, wide also at the same time was Costoya, who was on the outside, which unfortunately pushed him off the circuit. So I definitely would think that would fall under a racing incident at the start. You know, a lot of karts into the same part of the track.
It's not intentional by Drummond.
I don't think there was any intent on that one, no, indeed. But certainly a very interesting moment that I'm sure will get looked at and squared away indeed. Eyes on this one though. Turney has not broken away. Thomas Brunier on that Tony Kart machinery, looking rapid. We saw the speed difference between Brunier and Martinez through turn 1. Is it going to be a similar story in towards turn 1 this time around between Turney and Brunier? We'll have to find out. There though is Christian Costoya, all the way in 12th place. He's got Dean Pedersen for company just behind, who is under attack himself from Sebastian Mins, who's also had a change over the course of this season. Started this season with CRG, now rocking the Victory Lane outfit as Brunier is all over Joe Turney's rear bumper.
Yeah, all over the bumper then, but Kamenek is all over the bumper of Pradier then towards turn number 8. Here they go then, these three, and there he goes. Kamenek now making the move on Pradier and gets it done. It looked like Pradier was catching up to Joe. Now it's the Fusion driver that I think is going to be the next one to try and have a look, as we've now got a change for P3 as well, because Martinez has now overtaken Pradier, who's now looking like he's going to be overtaken by Drummond as well. Drummond slots back in, jumps back onto that racing line, thinks against it at turn number 1. We'll try and get the run down towards 2 and 3 though, back on the bumper as there's some pushing and shoving into turn number 3 by Pradier. And that makes Drummond actually vulnerable, loses out now to Shilkunis. Shilkunis, your fastest driver on the circuit, who's joined the Tony Kart team for the remainder of the season. Jumped into the highest bits of the order for the first time this weekend. Has got past the Fusion driver for Scotland. And this is actually getting a bit bunched up now for your front 2 packs. Turney from Kamenek from Martinez, and then Pradier from Shilkunis from Drummond. On the inside, we've got a change once more. Drummond tries to make something stick, doesn't get it done, swaps back and actually pulls it off then through turn number 11. So there's now Shilkunis dropping back down. No, it's not, it's Pradier dropping down now to 6th.
Yeah, indeed. Shilkunis up to 4th place. He was that initial overtake, and of course for Marka Shilkunis and Vanessa Shilkaneta as well. Both of them formerly with the BDK team. Of course, they would have been running on the Kart Republic chassis, and I've got to say, what a weekend to choose to switch over to the Toda Kart and the OTK product, the circuit where it's absolutely rapid. Certainly seems to be helping him out now. Kostoya, fastest lap of the race, pushing back through the field right now, still holding there in 12th place, but eyes on this. Jakub Kamenek right now, all over the rear bumper of Joe Turney. Kamenek at the moment not taken a win. He's had a 3rd and a 6th. But right now he's looking for a race lead, and he's got it down the inside at turn number 11. And Jakub Kamenek takes the lead for the first time this weekend in a qualifying heat capacity. And Joe Turney, who has also been eluded a qualifying heat win, is now back into 2nd place, which is where he's finished in every single race so far this weekend.
I don't know if Joe maybe expected that, but it changes, and Kamenek gets it completely wrong on the exit of the corner, almost falls off the road, and he's going to lose 2 or 3 positions. No, make it 4, because now he's losing position to his teammate of Drummond as well. So Turney makes that overtake. It was clean, did not touch him. Kamenek, I think, didn't expect it to happen, got unsettled, found himself on the grass, and of course, the knock-on effect of having that dirt on his tyres is creating all of this for Jakub, because now he's dropped 5 or 6 positions. The next driver that he's going to be vulnerable to is Mikulev and Gale there as well. Look at this now, he is going to be overtaken into turn number 1, gets aggressive, tries to push the driver out. That just did not go well to the driver who just managed to get into the race lead. It
shows how quickly it can go wrong for a driver. It shows how dramatic karting can be, and now Kostoya gets through as well on the scene. Kostoya has closed back in. Klara Kowalczyk there as well, trying to fight through the field. Zhang Jose also inside that top 10. But Kostoya certainly pushing through as Shilkunis here. There in 3rd place, is ahead of Drummond still, as he's up on a 9th place gain right now. Martinez there in 2nd, has done a brilliant job to fight back to that one, as he was a driver who dropped down to about 5th place earlier on, but he is doing a sterling job. Kostoya has got Gale for company, and I've got to say, for Austin Gale, it's a superb driver to be stuck behind right now. Kostoya, who's going to be fighting back to the front of this field. But time very quickly running out, Nicole. We're on to lap number 10 of this race, 9 completed, and yeah, we're slowly running out of time here.
We are slowly running out of time, but Kowalczyk then looking hungry into turn 3. Klara has had 2 top 10 finishes so far this weekend. Looking like she could be on the charge to do that again as she overtakes to get herself into 8th. So overtakes now Gale, as we've still got drama out there. That's still Kamenek not managing to sort himself out after losing that position, as we've got a change for the race lead. Now we've got Martinez challenging Turney. Turney tries to grab it back. Is Martinez going to hold on to it? Looks like he does. Gets it done, then holds on to it through 11. Loses some pace though, and Turney actually stands, gets past him like he stood still going out the exit of turn number 11.
I love that. One hand on the steering wheel, looking backwards and overtaking someone for the race lead. That's a Joe Turney thing to do in a nutshell. But,
adjusting the carb as well.
Yeah, indeed. But having a look around as well, just see what's happening. He's not going to hold it though, back down the inside. This is what we mean about this Rodby circuit. It opens up for frantic racing. You get one done here, you get another one done there, and all in the meanwhile, you've got now a group of 4 fighting for the race lead. Turney again has to go defensive. That will release Martinez at the front, that surely had the tyre pressures go for the second half of this race. He really struggled in that first half. Martinez now from Turney, Drummond there in 3rd, Shilkunis there in P4, and has brought Thomas Pradier back into play. You've got 2 KRs, a lone fusion, 2 Tony karts, all fighting inside that top 5.
All fighting indeed. Drivers then still trying to make those adjustments. You saw Turney heading down the straight, adjusting that carb, trying to maximise things, still trying to push up to Martinez there for that race lead. It just looks like then just dropping away from the back bumper of Jacopo now. Drummond has managed to pick things back up after a bit of early on drama and pings things back up to make the overtake for P2, catches Turney out, who now loses 2 more positions to Shilkunis and Pradier, and actually signals to Drummond, not happy with that at all. Tries to pick up a position, clips the curb and doesn't manage to get it now he's going to be vulnerable to teammate of Mikulev as well.
Yeah, I don't think Turney would have liked that one too much. I mean, albeit for an overtake, but you've got to keep it on the straight and narrow there. And Turney throwing up his hands in frustration there at Zach Drummond, who doesn't think anything of it. Looks behind him, sees Shilkunas say, right, don't worry about me, you go. However, I think Shilkunas with his teammate Pradir behind him might think otherwise on this final lap and will go for a move. It might be down here if he can get a nose down the inside. No, Drummond holds a much tighter line there, denies the two Tony Karts through. He'll go defensive here. Pradir to the outside. He'll try and get the switch over on his teammate. The two Tony Karts go side by side. Shilkunas on the inside, Pradir on the outside, Turney on the inside, gets through and splits the two Tony Karts apart.
This is so busy then, Anthony, you don't even know where to look. Drivers chopping and changing all the time. Martinez then out in the front. Great jog by Jacopo to get that race lead late on. He was patient throughout the entire race. Looks like he's going to meet this checker flag then as your race winner. 1.9 seconds, 1.7 seconds actually clear from the remainder of your field. Drummond then finishes in P2, replicates results achieved yesterday with a win and a P4. So in the sharp end of the field, your driver is who's fighting for a top 3 within the championship. Shilkunas rounds out your top 3. A good job by Marcus, I would say, and deploying some good Tony Kart pace this weekend after that last minute change over to the green livery. We've then got Pradir and Turney then that finish in the top 5. Turney, I would say, is not going to be happy with some of the decisions of the drivers around him in that race. He had to fight quite hard, I would say, in the late stages. You've then got Kowalczyk, who finishes in P6 ahead of Christian Kostoya, Mikulev, Austin Gale, and then Zhang Hujie as your remaining top 10. Martinez then, job well done, settled stuff, I would say, and now makes himself your leader of your intermediate classification so far with 138 points.
Indeed. Well, there are your 4 results from that one. Great race from Leo Nielsen and Franciszek Zielinski, Sweden and Poland. 15 and 12 places gained there to finish in 12th and 13th place. Kinmark Kolovos there as well, also with a good run. Here's some of the drivers who didn't have the best of races, but for Sawanado still with the 7th place gain there to finish in 19th, ahead of Jakub Kamenek, Senemir from Sadabetsui,